effective in this matter. As counsel pointed out, it's a different case. It's a different department. It is an officer-involved shooting. It is something that happened nearby. We really don't know what the facts of the case are at this particular point as those things are unfolding. But world events happen. Things continue to happen in the state, despite the fact that we're all here in trial. That's just what happens. And we can't have every single world event that might affect somebody's attitude or emotional state or anything be the grounds to come back and re-voir dire all the jurors. The court, in our voir dire process, we asked the jurors, specifically the issue that Mr. Nelson is concerned about, whether they would be so concerned about the outcome of a verdict that they wouldn't be unable to be fair and impartial and render either a guilty or not guilty verdict. And all of the jurors who were sworn and impaneled said that they would be able to do that. And the court will further instruct them that they are to do that. They're to render their verdict without regard to the result. And the law presumes that jurors follow the court's instructions, and we should presume that they meant what they said when they said it, that they could set aside these external issues and decide the case based solely on the evidence. So I think it would be inappropriate to voir dire jurors now about events that, while related and being on the same topic of the case, do not involve this case. In terms of sequestration, I don't think that would be an effective remedy. Again, as far as the court admonishing the jurors to avoid all media, I don't oppose that request. I think that it does present some issues. If you order the jurors to avoid all media, it's very difficult to avoid all media, and we'd have to tightly define what does avoid all media mean. Years ago it used to mean don't read the newspaper, don't watch TV. It means something different now, I suppose. Media comes at us in all different forms. I think it'd be very difficult to follow an order to avoid all media. And while it might have the effect of reducing the media contact, I wouldn't want to have a situation where then, if a juror inadvertently received some media on some unrelated thing, that would be a grounds of claiming juror misconduct because they didn't follow what would be a nearly impossible court order. So I think the court could fashion some guidance as to what to do. You could encourage them to avoid all media. You could even order them to do it, but if something inadvertently filters through, I think we can't overreact to it. I think we'd have to look at that on an individual basis, just like you did with the other juror question that we had the other day, and we found out that it really wasn't what we thought it could have been.
I'm going to deny the motion to sequester the jury and for additional voir dire. This is a totally different case. And I realize there's civil unrest, and maybe some of the jurors did hear about that. The reason why in my initial order I said we're not going to sequester, but we might go to it in the middle of trial if, and the concern there was that despite keeping jurors anonymous, that somebody may find out who one of the jurors is and reach out and have an inappropriate attempt to tamper with the jury. We have no indication that that's happened in this case, and that was the concern about going to sequestration. I understand the argument from the defense that this now puts them even more ill at ease, but I think sequestering them would only aggravate that. Oh, I heard about the civil unrest and now the judge is putting us into sequestration. There must be a greater threat to our security. I think the better way is to just continue with the trial as we've been going, that's a separate issue. They should treat it as such. It'd be a different story if it was civil unrest following another verdict, where the jury can see what the consequence of a certain verdict might be in a similar case, but that's not this case. The jurors all are aware and we're concerned about their safety because of what happened in May of 2020. The civil unrest that followed there. Not a big surprise that there's now civil unrest in response to this case, but I don't think that should heighten the jurors' concern. I think it's probably the same as it was before. They all have a concern that they expressed and were very honest about. And so I'm not going to sequester them. We'll sequester them on Monday when we anticipate doing closings. So I will proceed accordingly. So with that,